Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
And were you guys able to access the files, the notebooks,
Yes,
which is uploaded?
yeah.
All right. Okay, so today we are going to start with KNN, that is which is nothing but K nearest neighbor. Okay, so this is one of the popular classification algorithm. So like K stands for any number. Okay, like if it is equal to 3, it is nothing but 3 nearest neighbor, like that. Okay, so based on the relationship with neighbor data points, it will be classified. So now consider I have something like the data points like this. Okay, so let's say this is y axis, and this is x axis. This is x and this is y. Okay, and now I have the data points like this over here. Let me just choose two different colors. Okay, so this let it be here, let it be here, let it be here, let it be here, and let it be here, and let it be here. And also I have another set of data points which is in some different color. Okay, let it be here, 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 and let it be here, like this. Okay, now consider there is one new data point is coming. Okay, there is one new data point is coming. Okay, so let's say this is the new data point. Let's say over here. Now what do we have to do is we need to find the distance between the new data point and all the data points. Okay, so for each and every data point, that is for each and every new data point, we need to find the distances between existing and the new data point, like the distance between this and this, the distance between this and this, distance between this and this, and this and this, and this and this. That is to every data point we need to find. And then, for example, if k is equal to 5, okay, k is equal to 5, depends on the distance, it has to choose 5 nearest data points. Okay, which has the nearest data. So that is, these are the 5 nearest neighbors. Okay, consider like that. That is, this is 1, 2, 3, okay, and then 4, and then 5. These are 5 nearest data points actually. All right. One second. Yeah. So these are 5 nearest data points actually. Okay. Okay. So now what do we have to do is, now we need to consider. Okay. See, now we have 3 brown. Out of this, we have 3 brown data points, and then 2 blue data points. This is brown and this is blue, 2BL. Okay, so now the new data points will belong to the highest number of occurrences, that is to this one. Okay, so like this we need to do for all new data sets. So this is how, okay, this is how this KNN will work. Now we have all known data sets. These are all known data points, and this is the unknown data points. So first what we have to do is, okay, we need to train, okay, all these. We need to train all these particular data points, and then we need to find, like if I give this as the input, if I give this as the input, okay, so we need to find which data set it belongs to, either A or B. Now these three are data set, that is input features, okay, and the last one is a thing but label, okay, so it should belong to either A or B, like that. Okay, so first let me just do this, okay, so via some code, okay, like let me explain this algorithm, and then we will use SQL and machine learning library in order to sort it out. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, so guys, any doubts in this algorithm? Guys, any doubts in this algorithm?
Yeah,
Mohan,
good.
is this also used for classification only?
This is used for classification, yes, but there is something called KNN regressor also. Okay, so this
Okay.
might be used for regression also, but major use of KNN is nothing but classification.
Okay, fine.
Yes, yes, yes. Major use is classification only. Like it can be used for binary classification or multi-class classification, no problem. So the one which I have explained is binary classification. So after this, we'll see for multi-class classification. Okay. Yeah. So any doubts? Any doubts, guys? Clear, right? Clear with this algorithm, right?
Yes, yes, clear.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now let me just remove this. That is all drawing. Okay. Then and just write some function not to calculate the distance. So I can say import math, and then I'm just writing, see the distance. So I was talking about distance, right? So that is nothing but Euclidean distance, we used to say. That is a mathematical term, okay? So I can say instance 1, instance 2, and then length. Okay, that is I can say distance is equal to 0, okay, and then I can say for x in range of length, okay, and then I can write distance plus equal to, okay, plus equal to ins 1 of x, that is x1 minus x2 the whole square, okay, like that. So that is this point minus this point minus this point minus this, like that. Okay, so minus ins 2 of x the whole square, and then we have to give return math dot square root of distance. So this is the distance between 2 points actually. For example, consider I have some data points over here, right? Now if I want to find the distance between this data point and this data point, okay, so what do we have to do is, I can just say, okay, Euclidean distance, I can just write like that, Euclidean distance of unknown data of 0, that's nothing but this particular list, correct, and then known data of 0, known data of 0 colon 3, right? 0 colon 3 means 0 1 2, correct, and then I can just provide the len of unknown data of 0. So now what will happen in this case, it will take this one, that is 16 minus 2 the whole square plus 26 minus 2 the whole square and 36 minus 2 the whole square, okay, and then the square root of it. So the formula will be like this. For this data point, the formula will be square root of, okay, x1 minus x2. Let's say this is x, this is y, this is z, something like that, okay. So these are all features, right? The whole square plus y1, okay, minus y2 the whole square plus okay, and then z1 minus z2 the whole square. So this is the formula for this. Okay, so that's what we are doing it over here. Okay, that's what we are doing it over here. Okay, that is plus equal to, that is we are keep on summing up. Okay, ins1 of x minus ins1 of ins2 of x. Okay, we'll be getting the index and then we are doing it. All right, so this is what we are doing here. So and then if I just do this, you can see what is the error I'm getting. Oh, okay, I have to give like this actually. My input is wrong. Yeah, now you can see the distance is 40. Okay, because I have to say on this 0:3, that is I want to send only 2 2 2. For example, if I say known data of 0:3, what will happen? It will take 3 different lists. Okay, I want only these two has been sent. Sorry, these 3 values has been set. So for that, what I have to do is known data of 1 and then 0:3. Sorry, 2, let's say. Okay, like this. That is 2 to 2. Okay, so now I can say the first point is 43 point something is a distance. Okay, so like this, what we have to do is we need to find the distance between all the points. Guys, getting it? Any doubts in this?
No.
Okay. Next is we are writing the formula for get neighbors. Okay, so I can say def get neighbors. Okay, I can write existing data, new data, and then number of neighbors. Let it be default by default. Let it be 3. Okay, see we can say 1 also, but if I say k is equal to 1, right? Okay, so there is no point in using this. So you can say why I can't choose the very nearest neighbor. Then the permutation that is the probability will not come into the picture at all. So whoever is nearest, and then they will be getting most of the things. But if we have more combination, okay, that is if we select most number of neighbors, and from there if we select the label, okay, so the probability of accuracy is more. All right, so that's why the minimum value for k that we need to choose is 3. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you should not have k is equal to 1. You can have it, but it will not work basically. Okay, so now what we are going to do is I'm just writing distance is equal to empty. Now I'm saying for data in range of len of existing data. Okay, then I'm calculating the distance. Distance is equal to Euclidean distance. Okay, and then I can say new data of 0, and then x data of data, that is I'm doing for everything now, not only for one particular data points. I'm doing for everything now. Okay, and then I can say len of new data of 0, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just appending like distances dot append. That is this is a list basically, right? This is a list. So what I'm going to do is I'm just creating a tuple which contains the data points, x data of data, and what is the distance calculated. Okay, what is the distance calculated? So in this particular case, if you say return distances, now you can see, okay, now let me just execute it. Let's say get neighbors. Okay, so what is this existing data? There's nothing but known data. We are passing everything over here. Okay, so I can write known data. Okay, I'm just writing known data comma unknown data. Okay, and then it's not required because we are saying k is equal to 3. All right, so now if I just execute it, you can see the output like this. That is, this is the data point, and what is the distance? 43. Similarly, this is the data point, and what is the distance? 40. And this is the data point, what is the distance? 45. So now for each and every data point, we have calculated the distances. Okay, then what we have to do? We need to sort it. Sort the this tuple based on this distances. So which is the minimum distance? I can say like something like 37, I think. Okay, so that is the minimum distance. Okay, so now what we need to do is we have to sort the distances based on Euclidean distance measured, based on distance measured. Okay, or else we can say sort the data points, okay, based on the distances. All right, so how we can sort it out? Okay, how we can sort it out? So we have something called operator module, import operator. There is a module called operator. Okay, so using this okay, so let me just keep it up. Okay, so that all imports will be at the top. All right, import operator. Now using that particular operator, what we can do, we can sort the tuple within the list based on the particular index. Okay, that is, I can write distances dot sort. Okay, the sort is a method basically. Okay, sort is a method basically, and then key is equal to operator dot item getter of 1. So what is this 1? There is nothing but index. Okay, so 1 is nothing but the index. If I say 0 here, based on this list it will be sorted. If I say 1 here, based on this particular distance it will be sorted. So this will sort in ascending order by default. Okay, so now if I execute, you can see like this. See here, 37, 37, 37.9, so 38, 38, 39, 39, like that. You can see something like this. Okay, so if you want to sort in reverse order, okay, what you have to do is you can say reverse is equal to true. So by default, whenever you sort, the reverse attribute will hold the value false. If you say reverse is equal to true, now you can see this in the reverse order now. So 48 is the maximum distance. Okay, so I will just remove it. Okay, now you can see like this. So now what we have to do in this case, we need to take top 3 neighbors, 3 nearest neighbors. We have to take the top 3 neighbors. Okay, so how we can retrieve the top 3 neighbors? Okay, so I can say get top k neighbors. I can say distances, that is k underscore neighbors is equal to, okay, distances of colon k, right? So now if I return k neighbors, you can see only top 3 neighbors are there. Okay, distances of colon k, that's it. So simple. If I say 5 here, now I will retrieve 5 neighbors. Okay, now I will retrieve 5 neighbors. If I say 7, I will retrieve 7 neighbors. Like this. Okay, so now we have retrieved the neighbors. Okay, now we have retrieved the neighbors like this. All right. So now what we have to do, that is, whenever we retrieve the neighbors, we are not interested in the distance. I want only the data points. Okay, we are not interested in the distance when we retrieve the neighbors, basically, right? I need only the data points actually. All right. So in that case, what we can do, I can say, okay, I can say for neighbor, okay, in distances of :k, I can just retrieve neighbor of 0 because I am interested only in this, not in the distance. So I am looping through each and every tuple. Okay, I'm looping through each and every tuple, and then I am just retrieving this particular data point alone. Okay, so if I say 3, I will be getting only the data points 1555, 1055, 1055. That's it. Look at this. Oh, sorry, I need to execute this and then this. See, now I have retrieved only the data points. So this is nothing but nearest data points. So guys, so far clear? Guys, so far clear?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So now what we have to do, we have to receive the response. For example, let's say k is equal to 5. Now we have something like 3 A's and then 2 B's. Okay, so if you see the label count, I have 3 A's and 2 B's. So I should get the response as A because A has maximum occurrence with respect to 5 neighbors. A has maximum number of occurrences. Then how I can retrieve that? Okay, let's say this is neighbors. Okay, let's say this is neighbors is equal to, okay, and then I can print the neighbors now. Neighbors is nothing but something like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the response. Get the response like DEF get response of neighbor. Okay, let's say NB should be fine. So I'm just passing this neighbor and then I should retrieve the response. Okay, so what can I do? That is, I have to count the number of occurrences of A in each and every data point. Okay, then what can I do is I can say first I can initialize count is equal to something like this, and then I can say for X in range of len of NB. Okay, range of NB, or else it's not required, like we can just say like data point. Okay, like for data in neighbors or NB, and then I can just print data here. Okay, just a print data here, and then let's execute step by step. So let's say get response of neighbors. Now you can see it is printing one by one. Now we need to get the response. Now we need to get this particular response. How can I get this response, guys? How can I get the response now? I can just say data of -1 because that is the label, right? -1 is the last element. So now if you see I have retrieved the response. A, B, B. Okay, A, and then B, B. All right. So now I will write it. Okay, let me just say. Okay, let me just say over here. Okay, let me just initialize. Okay, like responses. Response is equal to empty list like this. Now what I'm going to do, I am just saying response dot append of data of -1. Okay, now in this case, if I just return response, what will happen in this case? I'll be having only the particular response. See here, A, B, B. Okay, now in Python, we have something called counter. That is from collections import counter. What is this use of this counter? For example, okay, let me just write it over here. What is this use of this counter? It is used to count the number of occurrences of the particular elements. For example, if you are saying counter of PHP, okay, counter of PHP, now it will count each and every occurrence of character. So now if I execute it, you can see P is 2 and H is 1. Okay. For example, now consider I have something like this: PHP, Python, PHP, and then again Python, and then again Perl, something like this. So now I have passed the string object over here. So in this case, what will happen? It will count the number of each and every characters. So P, 7 occurrences, H, 4 occurrences, and then space, 4 occurrences. Okay, and then this one. Okay, let's say one more Python here. Okay, now you can see P, 8 occurrences, H, 5, something like that. But now if I want to count the number of occurrences of words, I want to count the number of occurrences of words. So in this case, what can I do is I can split it. That is, I am splitting it based on space. So now what will happen in this case is, if you just execute this, okay, I will be getting some result like this. That is, I'll be getting a list like this. That is, I have tokenized based on words. So now you can see PHP, Python, PHP, Python, Perl, Python. So now if you pass this list as an input to this counter class, okay, now you can see how many occurrences. PHP is 2 occurrences, Python is 3 occurrences, and Perl is 1 occurrence. You can see the number of occurrences of each and every element in the list. Now in this, if I want the top, okay, in this, if I want the top element, I can say dot most common of 1. Okay, in this, I want only the top element. I can just write like this: most common of 1. What is this? Python. Okay, now you can see that is, okay, let me just print like this. Okay, print something, and then again print something. Okay, like this. So first one, it is printing the splitted one. Then the second output is like we are taking the number of occurrences of each and every element in the list, and then at last I'm just receiving most common of 1, which is something like Python. Okay, so I can easily retrieve the top elements over here. Okay, see, this can be done over here itself, like
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Okay, but over here we have calculated the distances, right? So that's the thing. So that's why I didn't do that over there. But here we need to count it, and then we can just retrieve the maximum occurrence. So over here, what we can do, there is once you find it, okay, once you find it, I can just write, okay. So retrieve the response, okay, retrieve the response which has maximum occurrence. So I can say response is equal to counter, that is max response, okay, equal to counter of response dot most common of 1. See here, if you give 2, it will give top 2. See here, Python 3, PHP 2. Okay, this will give top 2, but we are interested only in the top 1 actually, right? So now what we can do, if I retrieve the max underscore response, now you can see the output is like this: A is 3. Okay, A is 3. Now we are just interested only in this, not in this. Okay, we are just interested only in this particular stuff, not in this. So in this case, what we can do, I can say 0, 0. That is, whenever I say 0, what will happen? It will just produce A comma 3. But in this, I need only A. So on top of it, I have to give one more 0. Now I have received A. Okay, I have received A here. Okay, so this is how you have to do. So this is for getting the response basically. So guys, any doubts here? Any doubts? Okay, so let me just copy this. Please try it out. So please try it out. Let me just copy this. So just the 3 functions, okay? Euclidean distance, and then we have get neighbors, and then we have get response. Okay, just 3 functions over here.
Done from my end.
Yeah. So what about other 2? Is it done?
Done.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's see with this one. Okay, sklearn module. So I'm just going to import the modules on the top. There is from sklearn dot neighbors. Okay, import k neighbors classifiers. Okay, and then I can say from sklearn dot matrix, import confusion matrix, accuracy score, and then classification report. Okay, otherwise I forgot later. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are just going to convert this to an numpy array. Okay, so I can write convert the data points to numpy array. I can just write Okay, data underscore known is equal to np dot array of known underscore data. Now I can say data underscore known dot shape. Okay, so if I just printed data underscore known, you can see everything is in NumPy array now. It's not in the list format. It's in the NumPy array. Okay, and similarly, I can just write data underscore unknown is equal to np dot array of unknown underscore data, and then I can just write print data underscore known dot shape, and then unknown underscore data dot shape. Sorry, data underscore unknown. My mistake. Okay, 1,3. So, and also over here you can see unknown data will be in this particular, sorry, data unknown will be in this particular format. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to split into x and y. That is, these three are x-axis and the last one nothing but y-axis. So in this case, I can just write split x and y. So I can say x underscore train or x underscore data is equal to data underscore known of, how can I write? That is, I want all the rows except last column. Okay, I want all the rows except last column actually, right? So in this case, I can write colon, comma, colon -1. That is, first is for row index. That is all the rows, and then colon -1 except last record. Sorry, except last column, everything will be considered. And then similarly, y data is equal to data underscore known. I want all the records and only the last column. Okay, here I didn't give colon, I just give -1 actually. Okay, so now if I print x underscore data, it will be like this. It will be like this, and if I print y underscore data, it will be like this. It's a labels. Okay, just a labels over here. All right, yeah, so please take it down. Then we will create the model. This one, data known. Let me know once it is done, then we'll create the model.
Done.
Yeah, done.
Okay, everyone? Yeah. Okay, so now we are going to create the model. Okay, so I can write KNN is equal to K neighbors classifier of, I need to mention n neighbors is equal to 3. Okay, then we need to fit the data. Fit the data. That is KNN dot fit of x underscore data comma y underscore data. Now I'm getting the warning. Okay, I'm getting a warning now. That is, arrays of bytes or string will be converted to decimal numbers if data type is equal to numeric. It is recommended that you convert the array to a float data type before using it in scikit-learn. For example, by using your array is equal to your array as type np.float64. That is what they are telling us. Okay, so better we can convert all the data types, the one what we are going to use here, to float, because now it is in integer data type. Okay, so what we can do, I can just write Okay, I can just write over here, that is before sending the data to the model. Okay, so I can just say x underscore data is equal to x underscore data as type of nply dot float 64. Okay, now if I print this x data, you can see the output like this. Everything is in the float data type. Okay, similarly, I can convert data underscore unknown also. Data underscore unknown is equal to data underscore unknown as type nply dot float 64. That is, we are just typecasting it, nothing else. Okay, so we are just typecasting it, unknown. Okay, now you can see. All right, let me just print it. Okay, then once we did it, then we are going to predict the output, predict the label for known data. Okay, I can write knn dot predict of x underscore data. Okay, so we need to save it, right? Y underscore predict is equal to, see, now we are not getting any warnings at all because it has been converted to this one. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I'm just printing the actual is y underscore data, and then I'm just printing predict is nothing but y underscore predict. Now you can see this is actual and this is predicted. Okay, now now we will find the confusion matrix. Okay, like print confusion matrix. Okay, I can say y underscore data and then y underscore pred. Now you can see 9308. So now how will you find the accuracy now? Tell me. How will you find the accuracy now?
9 plus 8
Thing.
divided
Yeah,
by
9
the
plus
sum of
8 is 17. Yeah, so and
divided
then
by
by 20. So accuracy is 0.85.
Correct.
Okay, so or else what we can do, we can just say accuracy score of y underscore data comma y underscore predict 0.85, and then we can just print the classification report of y underscore data comma y underscore predict. Okay, A and B. So precision recall F1 score, we have seen that, right? And then if I want to predict for unknown data, I can just say print, okay, knn dot predict of data underscore unknown. So now I've got A. Okay, the same output, the one which we have got before, right? That is earlier. See, A. Okay, the same output we have got here. Got it? Guys, any questions here?
Can you just briefly say that F1 score and all? I just missed yesterday's that whole session. That last
Oh, F1
towards-
score, is it? Okay. Yeah, just a minute.
Yeah.
You just take it down and then I will explain that, well, like what is precision score and what is F1 score, what is recall, so like that. Okay, so you just please take it out and then I will explain.
Done.
Done, right, everyone? Okay, so let me just explain that this one. Okay, so let's say for 5 neighbors. Okay, let's see, because we have used to 5 neighbors earlier. Yeah, same thing, 0.85 is coming. Okay, how come it is 0.45? Oh, okay, accuracy is, see, accuracy is reduced actually. The thing is 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 by 11. 9 by 11 is 0.45. So 0.81. Okay, sorry, 9 by 20 only. No? Yeah, 0.45 actually. If I increase this one, right? It is taking 0.45. Let's say 0.3. This neighbor is 3. So now it would be like 17 by 2. Okay. So now let's say, what is precision? Okay. So we have 4 different things. Like if you see this classification report: precision, recall, F1 score, support. Support is nothing but number of occurrences of A, number of occurrences of B. Okay. Let me take this. Okay. Let me take this. So what is the number of occurrences of A? So now you can see A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Why it is not updated? So this is fine. Let me just find it. What is this, guys? First one is true positive, true negative, and true positive. So 1, 2. This is A. Okay. This is not binary classification, right? That's right. Okay. So this is like, which has taken as 0. I think this will be taken as 0 and this will be taken as B, basically. Okay. Right. So what will happen here is we need to write something like this. That is A, B, okay, and then A, B, okay. So what is A? That is 9. This is actual, okay. This is actual A, all right. This is actual B, and this is predicted A and predicted B, okay. So that is actual A predicted A is 9, and actual A predicted B is 3, and actual B predicted A is 0, and actual B predicted B is 8. Okay, let's check it out. So 9, this is nothing but, so A should be 9 occurrences. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 occurrences. Okay, AB should be 3 occurrences. AB, and then we can write AB. So 3 occurrences. And there should not be occurrences of BA. There should not be occurrences of BA at all. No occurrences. And then BB should be 8 occurrences. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Okay. So this is how you have to take it. So like if you want to calculate precision, right? So we need to say that is, this is taken as negative. A is taken as negative and B is taken as positive. Okay. So that is, this is 0 and this is 1. Okay. So in this case, how it is resolved is, so remember yesterday we want to save this, right? So let's say first is true negative, okay, and then next is what? False positive, correct? And then
Correct.
False negative, and then true positive,
True positive.
correct? So yeah, so confusion matrix of y underscore data comma y underscore predict dot ravel. right? So each and every value will be assigned. Okay, each and every value will be assigned now. So now you can see I'll be having these 4 parameters. So now when we talk about precision, so what is precision basically? What percentage of our predictions are correct? Okay, what percentage of our predictions are correct? That is nothing but precision, right? So now if I say precision for B, if I want to find it, okay, precision for B, if I want to find it, the formula is true positive divided by like true positive plus false positive. This is the formula. Okay, so now if I execute it, you can see 0.73. It is rounded off. You can see something over here. And if I want to find it for A, okay, precision A. So now A is categorized as negative over here, that is 0. So we have to say true negative divided by true negative plus false negative. So now you can see it is 1.0. Okay, so we are getting it. Okay, we are getting it. So basically what is happening here, okay, basically what is happening here is, so here it is summing up, that is whatever over here like 9 plus 3, because this is actual A and predicted A, actual A predicted B. Okay, it is just summing up for A stuff, that is 12. And if you see B, it is getting the summing up of this like 0 plus 8. Okay, it's nothing but 8 over here. That is nothing but support. Okay, so since it is not binary, okay, so it is we need to consider each and every parameter in a different way actually. So it is considered based on the alphabetical order. For example, if I have B and C, okay, so B will be considered as negative and A will be considered as C will be considered as positive. Whenever you have the label, it will be always considered from ascending order. Okay, that is first is A and then B. So based on that. And now coming to recall. So what is recall? So precision is nothing but what percentage of our predictions are correct. That is nothing but precision. Now what is recall, guys? What recall? That is, sorry, what is recall? That is what percentage,
What percentage
yeah,
positive
of the
did we
positive
catch?
cases did we catch? All right, what percentage of the positive cases did we catch? So for example, if I say the recall for B, okay, the formula is, I can say true positive divided by true positive plus false negative. Nothing but recall B is 1.0. See here, 1.0. Recall B is 1.0. And then if I just say recall A, true negative divided by true negative plus false positive. Now you can see 0.75, yeah, 0.75. And if you have the values for precision and recall, F1 score can be easily calculated, because F1 score is nothing but, okay, the formula is 2 into recall into precision divided by recall plus precision. Okay, so what do you mean by F1 score? It tells what percentage of positive predictions are correct. Okay, what percentage of positive predictions are correct? Okay, so in this case, for example, let me just do it for B. Okay, so precision underscore B is nothing but this one, and then recall underscore B is nothing but this one. Okay, and F1 underscore, there is F1 score for B, I can just write, okay, I can just write 2 into P underscore B into R underscore B divided by P underscore B plus R underscore B. Now you can see 0.85 or 84. You are getting 0.84 here. So guys, clear? Susan, you are clear?
Yeah.
Susan?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So please take it down. Yeah. So please take it down. So I will be just copying all the lines now. So let me just copy this first because this is very much important for that. Okay. And then you can just see this one.
One thing.
Yeah.
Hello. So when
Yes.
for the for F1 score, the definition is what percentage of positive predictions are correct. So the system
Yes.
itself, some of the predictions are not correct.
No, like based on our model, it will be taking. Okay. So the thing is, here we are deriving it based on the values that we have given, right? But what we will do is, if I want to find manually, right, what I will do, that is via this particular thing, I have some formulas over here. Sorry, some inbuilt function over here, like from sklearn dot matrix import, okay, precision score, and then recall score, and then F1 score. Okay, so for this, I need to send the data. That is, I have to send like precision.
No, the definition
Score.
A bit confused. So the recall means
Uh-huh.
what percentage positive cases did we catch? So how you compare between the recall and the F1 score? So actually we could identify the failures. Few scenarios something that we need to attend to, and out of that, how many were correct? That's what the positive predictions are correct means, right?
No. Positive cases is different. Positive predictions is different, right? The thing is, see, positive cases means it will consider only B. Positive predictions means it can be false positive also, true positive also. Okay, it can be both, right? See, true negative, it also false. It is also positive predictions.
Yes.
True positive, like true negative is what? Actually, it is no. Predictor is no. Okay, true positive. Actually, it is one. Predictor it is one. Okay,
Yeah.
so it will compare both. Actually, it will take both. But over here, it will take it separately. Okay, like positive cases for B, how it is. Positive cases for A, how it is. So that's why we are considering both precision and recall for F1 score.
Okay.
Okay, got it? Yeah. Yeah. So you can take it down, and then we will see multi-class specification. Okay. See over here. Let me just do this one also. Like y underscore pred is it? Yeah. Okay. We need to send it in different format basically. We need to send it in zeros and ones. Only then it will take it up. I will explain this. We have something called one-hot encoding. I will explain this, okay? And then we need to do this one. I will explain this later. Yeah. So we have that topic, like feature engineering. Some topic is there. So over there we have something like label encoding, one-hot encoding. So before sending the data to precision score function and F1 score function, we need to do that. Only then we can set it up. That we will discuss. Okay. So after this multi-class classification, we will discuss that. Okay, label encoding, one-hot encoding. So like yesterday we did something for Get Dummies, right? So like that, we have 2 more feature engineering practices. So we will see that. Okay.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.